With us now, Liz Fraser, who writes about parenting, and Stephanie Kalman, who's author of Confessions of a Bad Mother. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
First of all, is there agreement from both of you that there is over-sexualisation of children at the moment?
No,
apparently there's no agreement.
No, it's another of these surveys with a leading question. Do you feel that children are exposed to too much sexualised material? Nobody knows what that means. You can't define it. It means something different to everybody. And I've looked up this. There's this clothing catalogue there's been a big moral panic about. With teenagers and bras being removed and stuff.
Jack Wills.
Yeah, there is. The nipple count is 0, I checked, and I watched right back to 2008, and apart from the fact that everybody in them is white, which I thought was rather interesting, there wasn't anything I thought was actually titillating.
This is a cropped part of
Yes, I think it's mildly raunchy.
The nipple count there, actually, because I saw that photograph as well, and I
didn't see any, but the people in it are clearly, I showed it to my 12-year-old and 13-year-old, who didn't react particularly strongly, but they did say, my daughter said, that lady's quite old. And I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, at least 20, mummy. So they're not very, very young.
So you think they're aware that
I think
the
there's
people
a
in
bit
the
of
adverts are older? Liz, you wrote about this, didn't you, in one of the newspapers?
I did write about this. I mean, what I want to say right from the start is that I want to distinguish between nakedness and sex. I think those two things are very different, and I actually find Britain to be quite prudish in terms of nakedness. If you go to a swimming pool, a public swimming pool, women change, secretively in the cubicles. When I was little, and I still do now, I get changed in the main cubicle. I think that's absolutely fine, and I raise my children to do the same, because nakedness and nudity is fine, it's completely normal. But what we seem to do is we seem to put sex and sexuality onto the naked body the whole time, in every part of the media and in all adverts. And the fact that 9 out of 10 parents are concerned about the amount of sexual images that their young children are seeing, I think is something we should listen to. We know, for example, that young girls are developing sexually far younger now than they used to. On average, 2 years younger than their mothers, they reach sexual maturity, and they were again 2 years ahead of their mothers. This is becoming, a problem for young girls who are not emotionally able to deal with all the signals that they're being given.
No, I think what we've got here, we've got a classic moral panic. Every generation has one.
It's not a moral panic.
No, I think it is. I think, the interesting thing to me about kids now is actually they're not growing up too soon. The opposite is happening. They don't even have basic skills. I think there's an appearance of grown-upness, which is really a surface thing. I don't think they're actually growing up too quickly. And if you talk to kids, as I'm sure you do, your own young teenage kids, they have their own quite strict moral codes.
But they're not behaving in a young, underdeveloped way, because there's such a difference between your body and being clothed a certain way, and how you move it, what you do with it. Pop videos are basically soft porn now. I don't think I'm the only person who feels that way.
I don't think they copy everything they see. I think
they do. Have you ever been to a school talent show and watched a bunch of 17-year-old girls, 7-year-old girls, writhing in miniskirts? It's completely out.
No, I think that's
horrible.
There are some who do, but I think we have to get away from this idea that it's somehow a kind of tide of filth sweeping the country type of thing. That's not the case. It's not the case. It's not the case with every 7-year-old. No, I haven't seen 7-year-olds doing that in our local schools. They don't. Not the ones I've seen.
Well, they do in Cambridge, and it's quite disturbing.
Okay,
and we're not talking about a tide of filth. Yeah, we're talking about what we're, telling young girls, 7 and above, what they're supposed to be as people.
No, I don't think we need to tell them what they're supposed to be. I think they know.
I agree with you.
And I think the most important influence on, until you get to be about 14, 15, I don't know if you find this as parents, is actually your family.
It's your mother and your father,
the most important thing for girls is that they have high self-esteem and they see their mother being treated properly.
So
and that's the single most important thing.
There we have some agreement
between you,
which is whatever is out there, the thing that protects children is going to be the parents, the
parental attitude towards
and,
each other, actually.
And also how they talk to their children about how they develop.
We discuss all this stuff, and I think what I think also is you can't. Yes, of course, that the internet is out there and all that, but actually, what I noticed from my kids' reaction to this web ad for Jack Wills when we showed it to them is they are not obsessed with just looking at that stuff all the time. Yes, they're curious, and the real question underneath all of this is: are we afraid?
It is aspirational. I agree with you. It's drip feed aspirational.
But are we really afraid of actually them growing up and having sex, which they're going to?
I think quite a lot of parents are actually.
They are, but let's just just admit it then? Let's talk about what the real question is, and it's our fear of their sexuality.
Well,
Okay.
it's down to us as parents to make sure that, you know, we shield them from as much as we can that we don't think is
There, we
appropriate.
will have to leave it. Most stimulating
Sadly.
debate. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you both.
Sadly.
You coming back again?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay.
Round 2 in the next hour.
Ding ding.